Hi friends! My name is Angie and I am at my limit. I'm sick and tired of this winter thing we have going on. I just want to be able to dress cute again. And instead, every morning I wake up and it's cold and there's snow on the ground and it's wet and I have no choice but to put on big sweater, big pants, big boot. And I'm over it. I'm sick of this. I don't think a minute has passed, so I can't cuss and show you how I truly feel, but just know that I'm sick to my stomach about this winter thing. And so, as a way to cope and as a way to try and instill joy and inspiration and lightheartedness into my mind, heart, and soul, I went to Ravelry and I spent the weekend curating some spring inspiration. And so yeah, I came on real strong and I apologize for that, but in this video we're just going to be looking at knitting patterns and I hope that's cool. I tried to organize this list both by like garment type and also trend that I'm interested in, and also another third thing that I don't remember, and just know that it made sense when I put it together. I don't know if it's going to make as much sense as I tried to articulate it, but I guess there's no better way to find out than just by doing. And so let's do. One of the first trends that I'm really interested in, and that I've been especially interested in the very recent past, is collars. Groundbreaking. I've been really interested in a collared shirt lately, and I don't just mean like a classic white button up, but I'm talking about a pop of color collar. A pop of collar. And this all started because I recently got this like really vibrant blue button up, and I've been having so much fun layering it with different pieces and also just wearing it on its own, and it's just like fun. And so while theoretically I could invest in a bunch of colorful, funky, bright button-up shirts, I just simply don't have the money for that. But what I do have is a bunch of yarn. And so I figured I can make a bunch of collars that I can add to my wardrobe, add to like little outfits, and it'll basically have the same effect. So the first pattern on this list is the Salty Sailor Collar by Shan Fran, and it is just absolutely freaking delightful. And actually it kind of resembles that like cardigan over your shoulders look, but in a way that doesn't look bulky and weird and uncomfortable. It also feels like it could be a cold weather accessory, like it's like scarf adjacent, and I don't typically like wearing scarves because again, I don't like the bulkiness here. I don't like the sensation of having something around my neck. However, again, this is falling a little bit flat, so it like covers part of your neck, but it's like down here. And I think I like that. The second pattern on this list is also a collar. It is the Chloe collar by Ruffle, and Ruffle is actually going to be featured a lot on this list. I have never done a pattern by them. I just know that they pop up on Ravelry often, and I always fall for their designs because they are really great at using really bright and beautiful and vibrant colors. And like I'm a little bit like a crow in that way, where if I see hot pink, I immediately want to get my hands on it. And that's exactly how I felt about this collar. I love the oversizedness of it all. I love the little details with the stripes, with the ruffled edge. And on top of everything, I love that it's like tied together with a button. There's something about that specific detail that like really appeals to me because I don't love bows. I don't know if it's just because I don't know how to tie a bow good. It like never like lays the way that I want it to lay. And I also feel like with a collar like this, where there's so much going on, the like little button really ties it together. It really like brings it down to like a practical notch. On a similar note, although I haven't found a pattern that I really like, so just like generally speaking, I'm kind of into the idea of ponchos at the moment. I don't know if it's like because my mom recently returned from Ecuador and like she said she was gonna get me a poncho and then she didn't, and now I'm feeling like a poncho shaped hole in my heart. But like I'm really into the idea of a poncho. And like again, it's kind of that similar vibe where it's a cold weather accessory, but it like lies flat on your person. Are we gonna make ponchos cool this season? I don't know. We could. What is a poncho if not an enclosed shawl? And shawls are kind of fresh, are they not? But moving back to the patterns that I do have accessible to me and to you, the next accessory that I'm interested in doing is the scrunchie bag by Loupy Studio. I just like kind of adore how this looks. I love a shoulder bag. I love how Loupy Studio like incorporates color in all of their works. And so I think, again, that's what's really appealing to me in this pattern. Like, not only is the shape like really great and like the item is really functional, but just like the stripy, colorful clown nature of it all is just like really nice to my eyeballs. I feel like this would be a really great like stash busting kind of project, and God knows I got some stashes to bash. And that's really all I got for accessories, but like now that I'm looking at my Ravelry bundle, I just realized that all three of these are striped, and so I feel like subconsciously, because there are more stripes in the future, stripes are going to be really big for me this season. I just think stripes are a really fun, demure way to bring a lot of color into your wardrobe, and so this is scratching a part of my brain that I didn't know needed to be scratched. In a similar kind of way, the next pattern on this list are the solo trousers, also by Ruffle. This is not necessarily a striped pattern in the way that you're doing color work, but it's a striped pattern in the way that you're doing ribbing up the leg, and I think they look great. I've never done pants before. It's always been on my dream list of things to make, but I think I'm also just like a touch intimidated in the way that I'm intimidated of doing any project, but I'm also like quite intimidated because it's going to require a lot of yarn, and I'm just like not ready to make a purchase of that nature. So moving on to our next category, we have another set of pants, but they live under a larger umbrella of like ruffles. I think ruffles are going to be huge for me in the foreseeable future. I just really like them. They're just like playful and fun and sexy and cool. And so the first of my many ruffle patterns are the Copenhagen pants by Milena Juhola. Pretty simple silhouette, fun little ruffle at the end. Kind of bloomer-esque in some ways, and I like that. I like that a lot. So again, not sure if I'm going to tackle either of these pants in the foreseeable future. I really want to get through my present yarn stash before I start purchasing more yarn. So like, this is just an idea. This is just a dream. This is just a twinkle in my eye, but I think they look really good. And I really want more ruffles in my everyday life. And I guess to do that, we can move on to our next pattern, which is actually two patterns, but it's like kind of like a set. Also by Milena Juhola, we have the Tekla bloomers and the Tekla top. I just absolutely adore this pattern. I think it's so cute. I love a ruffly pajama, and I just think it would be so fun and sexy and cool to have like pajamas that I made myself. And I'd probably also make like multiples of the top so I can like wear some out, but this is definitely like a pajama dream of mine. Similar, but different, we have the Aloe top by Ruffle as well. Again, pretty basic silhouette, just a regular tank top, ruffles at the bottom. Really into ruffles. I think they're fun. Are you not getting that yet? Similar, but slightly more different. We have the So Frilled Tee by Nicole Thorson Knits. This one, we're changing the silhouette up a little bit. It's a t-shirt now, but it still has the ruffle. Sexy, fun, playful, cool. Thought that I would have a lot more to say about these patterns, but I guess not, because I just want to do some ruffles. But the next pattern is more different than it is similar. Next pattern on this list is the Chica Cherry sweater by Veronica Lindberg, and this combines two of my passions. It has the stripes and it has the ruffles. It is so cute. It is very Zooey Deschanel retro twee, and I want that life back. You know, like the 2010s were such a time to be alive, and part of the reason they were a time was because everyone was dressing up like Zooey Deschanel. And by everyone, I mostly just mean me. I credit Zooey Deschanel for the reason why I had bangs for much of my life. Like, she really did that for the artsy brunette girls out there. I was a victim to the Zooey Deschanel virus, and I'm ready to be a victim again. And this sweater feels like the most that vibe. And I love that for her. The next category that we have here, the next little trend thing that I'm really interested in the upcoming season is asymmetrical stuff. Like a really basic silhouette, but there's something just slightly off about it. I want to embrace the offness of it all in this upcoming season and in this upcoming year. Let's get a little funky with it. And so the first of the examples that I have here is the Mew top by Una Gill. This is a real basic little number, like not for nothing. Shout out to them because they're selling it as a pattern, but like realistically, you could probably freehand this pretty easily. But it kind of dips off one shoulder in a way that I think is like office siren chic, but cutesy. Does that make sense? Am I cooking? The next pattern on this list is something of a white whale for me because one of my dream projects is to make a dress. And again, it's just one of those things where it takes up a lot of time and it takes up a lot of yarn, and I already have a bunch of yarn that I need to get through before I start investing in more yarn. And so it's like, it's my white whale. It's what haunts me at night. This pattern specifically, I know is going to haunt me for the foreseeable future. It is called the Ethereal Dress by Sophia Hulk Peterson. It just looks incredible. And again, it has that little like asymmetrical hem thing going for it. Like not only is the bodice asymmetrical, but like that leads the skirt to also be asymmetrical. It just like, it looks a little bit like a figure skating dress, and it also kind of reminds me of Tinkerbell in a really good way. And I just know that I would feel so cute and amazing in this dress if only I had the time and the resources to actually make it. Oh my god, and there's someone who made like a maxi version of it. Wow, that's everything to me. I don't feel like saving the photo and then like inserting it, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Look at that! The maxi dress version of this dress is incredible. This one also. I love that this turned into like grandma showing you random shit on her computer. Love the stripes. Love that the skirt is a slightly different color. Obsessed. Yeah, I think this might be like my favorite of everything on this list. I remember like my heart like kind of stopping when I saw this on Ravelry. Like I couldn't believe this actually existed, and here we are. And like, wow. Moving on to our next asymmetrical number, we have the Uma sweater by Egyo Knit. And I forgot that I was editing this like later and I could just add the image. I was about to show you my computer screen again, but I just love the shape of this. And it's kind of playing into the poncho fantasy of it all. Like it has sleeves and everything, but it's like so loose. It's kind of giving poncho in a really nice way. And I like the asymmetrical opening, so like you can also get like a little bit of a breeze if you were feeling it. And then for like a more summery kind of vibe, we have the Nina Top 2, also by Ruffle. And again, I'm just telling you, there's something about the colors that they choose for their products that just like immediately I hone in on, and I'm like, yes, I want that. I love the golden yellow green combination that they put together for this top, but I also really love the basic shape of this top. I think it's so fun to have like a halter, but like kind of off center. And I think from what I can see in like different photos, that allows you to kind of be able to play around with the straps. Like you can make it a direct off shoulder, or you could bring one of the straps over and it's more of like a haltery kind of top. And it's that kind of level of detail and also like level of flexibility that I really like in this pattern. And that's all I got for like asymmetrical vibes. My next category is just quite literally everything else. So the next pattern on my list is the West Wrap by Sandnes Garn. This is another little halter top kind of moment, another little striped moment as well. But in this pattern, the back is completely backless and you have like little ties. I don't think I've ever made or worn a shirt like this before, so this is like deeply outside of my comfort zone, but I really like the shape of it. And I especially love one of the pictures that they shared in their like pattern where they're layering this over a button-up shirt. I think it looks so fun, it looks so cool, it looks so freaking funky fresh, and that kind of like opened my brain up a little bit for a way to like implement your summer tops but in winter wear. And so like I don't have this top yet, but like winter 2027 is gonna be my year. That's gonna be the time where I can finally stop dressing like this every day and I can finally be cute in the winter. Because I know there are ways to be cute in the winter. It just takes a lot of effort and energy and planning, and I just like don't have that in the winter season. But I could if I had the right pieces. And I think this would be the perfect right piece. The next pattern is the Breezy Long Sleeve by Kiss Kiss Rhinestones. And this is just a long sleeve top. Like there's not a lot going on here. And frankly, that's what I like the most about it. Some of my favorite knitting patterns are like super basic silhouettes because like classic, timeless, staple in your wardrobe, and yet gives you a lot of freedom to kind of play around with it and make it your own. And I think one of the testers like did a really great example of that, because like this is a basic long sleeve shirt, but there is a version where someone made like an asymmetrical like opening on the waist and on the sleeves and added buttons. And so like you can either unbutton it and make it like a flared piece, or you can keep it buttoned and it has like this cool like little detail moment. And that's what I'm talking about. Like I love basics pieces that you can like play around and make it your own. And I feel like this is the perfect pattern to like play around and make it your own, whether you're doing color work or striping or buttons or whatever. Next we have the Carrie sweater by Joanna Garish, and this is a great sweater. What I really like about this sweater is that it reminds me a lot of a cardigan I already own, but that cardigan I've had for many years, and it's like pilling and it's like shrunken and it's just like not as comfortable as it was. I've been meaning to try and find a replacement for it, but I haven't been able to find a replacement in stores, and like this pattern is quite literally like stitch by stitch replica of that shirt. That's really what appealed to me the most out of this, but also you could wear this backwards and you could have the opening on the back, and I think that's kind of sexy and fresh as well. Next, we have the 7 p.m. tank by Tiffany Tai. This is a really basic tank top, and I really don't have a lot to say about it except that it looks good, and I think it would be perfect to get rid of some like of my stash, as we are stashing and bashing and busting. And so I put this on the list because it's actually like quite a high contender of like something that I could theoretically work on in the near future. The next pattern we have here is the Brie boat neck. Another really classic basic silhouette, but what I like about it is the like side paneling detailing here. It's like really inconsequential, but it gives it a little bit more flavor. It gives it a little bit more like pizzazz. And I also just really like a boat neck on me. Like I think that silhouette, that neckline really works for me. So, you know, similar with the whole collar situation, I just got to take matters into my own hands and I just got to make it myself. And so we're gonna make it ourselves. Hello. Next, we have the Summer Tee by Lisa Leonello. This one I also don't have a lot to say about. It's just a really solid basic tee. I just think it looks really good. And so like I want to get my hands on it and I want to be able to make it myself. Like it just like looks really stellar. It's a really great structure for a t-shirt. Next we have the Stockinette tee by Tweety Sheep, and again, really basic silhouette, and I like it a lot. I think it looks really cool. Sorry that I'm losing steam here, but like there's really not a lot to say about this one. Ooh, but the next one is really cool, and this is a last minute addition to this list, but the next pattern is the Tee in a Tee, also by Sophia Holk Peterson. This is really something. Really classic kind of silhouette situation, but cool. And this tee in particular kind of has everything that we've been talking about. It has the stripes, it has the basic silhouette, but slightly different because it's like a t-shirt in a t-shirt. Like it's simulating the double t-shirt layering situation, but it's just one piece. And because it's simulating that, we have like a ruffle for one sleeve and then the stripes continue to go down in the other sleeve. I feel like the only thing that this is really missing to like hit all of the check marks or the check boxes is the asymmetricalness of it all, but I feel like something about it feels slightly off in a good way, that it kind of feels asymmetrically anyways. I think it's the stripes on stripes that makes it feel like a little like kooky to me, but like in a really good way, which is how I feel about asymmetrical hems right now. It's like, it's quirky, it's kooky, it's cool in a good way. The next pattern we have here is called Upstream by Faye Kennington. And this one, guys, this one's got a fish on it. When I first saw this in passing, everything had to stop so that I could process what I'm looking at. It's a really basic like cardigan shape. We have like cable work detailing on the sleeves and the body and whatever. We have a cable work fish. I've never seen anything like that before. That is so freaking cool. And now that I've done cable work in the past, exactly one time, I feel like I have enough experience that I can make fish out of cables. I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm ready to do that. And I just think this is so freaking cool. And I hate to be like up here with my energy and my excitement and then just like we have one last pattern, and like let's talk about that one. And it's like not as exciting because it's another like really basic silhouette, and I probably should have included this earlier in the list, but it is what it is. Our last pattern here is the Linnea cardigan by Inusik Studio. And while it is a very basic boxy striped cardigan, what I like about it is, again, the basic boxy striped nature of it all. But like usually vertical striped work is like color work, right? You're like knitting up the stripes. In this case, it looks like you're knitting the sweater horizontally. Like you're starting from the sleeve and you're working your way this way. And I think that's a really cool like structural technique. This feels very unique, cool, and funky. So these are all really exciting stuff, guys. Are you thrilled? Are you inspired? Are you excited? Because I know I am. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope all of your projects are going well, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye!